Debate, Vance tried to pretend that January 6th was no biggie.
Yeah, well, look, Tim, first of all, it's really rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power on January the 20th, as we have done for 250 years in this country. We are going to shake hands after this debate and after this election. And of course, I hope that we win, and I think we're going to win. But if Tim Walz is the next vice president, he'll have my prayers, he'll have my best wishes, and he'll have my help whenever he wants it. But we have to remember that for years in this country, Democrats protested the results of elections. Hillary Clinton in 2016 said that Donald Trump had the election stolen by Vladimir Putin because the Russians bought like $500,000 worth of Facebook ads. This has been going on for a long time. And if we want to say that we need to respect the results of the election, I'm on board. But if we want to say, as Tim Walz is saying, that this is just a problem that Republicans have had, I don't buy that.
Yeah, after his coup failed. That's like a toddler saying, look, I went to bed peacefully at 8 p.m., and I think that it's time we stop focusing on the 45 minutes I spent screaming and biting the babysitter because I wanted more bubbles.
Come on.
When Vance tried to compare the insurrection with Hillary Clinton complaining about Russian disinformation on social media, Governor Walz was not having it.
Governor.
January 6th was not Facebook ads. And I think a revisionist history on this. Look, I don't understand how we got to this point. But the issue was that happened. Donald Trump can do it. And all of us say there's no place for this. It has massive repercussions. This idea that there's censorship to stop people from threatening to kill someone, threatening to do something, that's not censorship. Censorship is book banning. We've seen that. We've seen that brought up. I just think for everyone tonight, and I'm going to thank Senator Vance. I think this is the conversation they want to hear. And I think there's a lot of agreement, but this is one that we are miles apart on. This was a threat to our democracy in a way that we had not seen.
He's right. It's not. January 6th. That's a fact check. I'll fact check that right there. Yep. January 6th was not Facebook ads, but if it were, it would be 10 weird tricks to overthrow the will of the people. Mike Pence can't stand number 6. Then Walz hit Vance with the question of the night.
Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Has she?
Yes, Tim, I'm focused on the future. Let's not talk about January 6, 2021. Let's talk about January 6, 2025. This time we're bringing 2 shamans.
The best moment of the debate came at the very end, which felt a bit too late. I was disappointed. I didn't think Kamala Harris' choice of Governor Walz as a running mate really shined through. The Governor Walz we usually see relaxed, easygoing, and able to mix humor with seriousness was missing. Instead, it seemed like he was trying to be someone he's not, which allowed J.D. Vance to get by without much challenge. It was also disappointing that Walz didn't give a stronger response about his past claim of being in Tiananmen Square, which wasn't true. He could have simply said, "I misspoke, I'm sorry," but he made it worse with his response. I agree with Elise. That moment was surprising, and there were a few other similar moments. That said, I don't think it matters much that the best moment came late in the debate. These days, it's all about social media clips and how moments get shared online. He could still win over people with those highlights, and it seems like the reaction to Walz hasn't been too bad. As for the Tiananmen Square issue, I was hoping for a simple apology. "I misspoke. I'm sorry." Meanwhile, J.D. Vance continues to lie about major issues like the 2020 election and January 6. The governor of Ohio is even asking Trump and Vance to stop dehumanizing legal immigrants. Walz could have used that moment to point out how these guys lie daily, while his mistake was from over 20 years ago. That's what I would have said.
With J.D. Vance, everywhere he goes, he stirs up hate against immigrants. Who's he married to? A daughter of immigrants. He married her when he was still an anti-Trumper, comparing Trump to Hitler.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
In Springfield, kids are under armed guard. Their class day photos canceled. This time, it's Haitians. Next time, it might be Indians. What kind of man stirs up hate that could turn on his own children? The kind of man J.D. Vance is. He made a fortune attacking his hometown and his own family. Now he's hating on immigrants, his own wife's family. This isn't about politics. It's about basic decency. His neighbors and his own family can't trust J.D. Vance. Why should America?
Tuesday's vice presidential debate was a mix of well-rehearsed lines, calculated quips, and a few awkward moments. Senator J.D. Vance mostly delivered a smooth performance, but every seasoned debater knows it only takes one slip to leave a lasting impression, and Vance definitely had that moment. It happened during a discussion on immigration, specifically Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Vance, feeling confident, was on a roll, until CBS moderator Margaret Brennan casually pointed out that these immigrants actually had legal status. This was Vance's cue to regroup, but instead, he made a comment that would quickly become infamous. In what could only be described as a childlike reaction to being caught, Vance blurted out, "The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact-check." The phrase instantly went viral, with social media users flooding the internet. It was a bizarre moment, like a basketball player suddenly stopping mid-game to shout, "But I thought we weren't counting fouls." Vance's claim that there was a no fact-check policy was, quite frankly, absurd. It's not how debates work. His critics had a field day. Former Trump campaign aide A.J. Delgado summed it up, tweeting, he just let them do the fact-check. You look 10 times worse saying, "Wow, you guys were going to let me lie, no fair." Dana Milbank of the Washington Post went even further, calling it a whiny protest, and noting how Vance's comment was just another lie stacked on top of others. At that point, it was clear. Vance had hit a rough patch, and people were counting his lies like they were keeping score at a carnival game. Milbank's analysis hit the mark. Vance had claimed that Springfield's schools, hospitals, and housing were collapsing under the pressure of millions of illegal immigrants. But Springfield's population is around 60,000. So, unless millions of invisible people have moved in, that claim just doesn't add up. It's an exaggeration that ranks somewhere between "my dog ate my homework" and "I have a girlfriend in Canada you've never met." And of course, the Haitian immigrants Vance mentioned are legal residents. Moderator Margaret Brennan wasn't fact-checking Vance on the spot. She was simply clarifying a point for the audience. What followed was like a referee stepping in to stop a boxer who's been swinging at air for too long. Vance, however, stuck to his narrative even as it fell apart. He continued to claim that Haitian immigrants were still part of illegal immigration, despite their legal status. It felt like Vance was auditioning for a reality show where politicians deny reality and moderators play along. The ironic part? Vance, who claims to represent the people, seems to think that people don't deserve the truth.